Don't know that this surprises anyone that the rumor is started now. Of course, once again, anonymous sources, because that seems to be all that they do to give them something to talk about. Bleeding Green Nation, not exactly a pro Eagles website. Despite being about the Eagles, they're saying out anonymous sources saying AJ Brown requested a trade multiple times during the season. Interesting. Don't know how true it is, but it's interesting that it gets put out there now. We're seeing a lot of stuff being put out that's negative toward the Eagles. One of the biggest things, too, that is interesting, which is why I want to talk about this, is we always keep hearing it's about Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, right? And let's take a quick listen to these guys yapping about it for a second. I want to make a point. There's something important in here.
Nothing is impossible. If the Philadelphia Eagles want to trade A.J. Brown, they certainly can trade A.J. Brown. They'll take a cap hit, they'll save some cash. If this is what they want to do, which certainly seems like Howie Roseman is at least willing to answer the phone, he always answers the phone, then they can do it. And you're right. I think it's fair to say there's some questions about whether or not A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts could be together for another season. Plenty of questions, though, about who is going to be their coach. Eagles right now searching for an offensive coordinator. It certainly seems like Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie heavily involved in the finding of an offensive coordinator. Zach Robinson, former Falcons OC, interviewed today. Wouldn't be surprised if Brian Daboll is on the list. Wouldn't be surprised if it's something foreign to what Sirianni has looked for previously. Might be time for a new outlook for this Eagles offense. It remains to be seen whether or not that does include A.J. Brown.
That new outlook, by the way, he talks about what Nick Sirianni is looking for. That new outlook needs to include Nick Sirianni having nothing to do with the offense. People keep talking about all these amazing things he does as a CEO style head coach, a la John Harbaugh. If that's true, great. If that is true, great. But that means remove him from the offense. He is a problem when he's involved with the offense. Now, I don't even know if I have it here. What is interesting is you heard him talk about how, oh, well, I don't know if Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown can play together again. AJ Brown in 4 seasons, 4,000 yard seasons, um, one that was what I think 1196, just under 1,200, in which I think he also missed a few games because of injury, and a Super Bowl win, all with Jalen Hurts. We have not heard anything from anyone, including AJ Brown, that all of his issues are about specifically about the quarterback. I don't know how you can have a quarterback that can get AJ Brown a couple of 1,400 yard seasons, and you're going to tell me the quarterback is the issue as to why AJ Brown is unhappy, right? I don't know that that makes a lot of sense. Let's go back to this for a minute. This was back in mid-November. It's a little low. I'm going to turn it up as high as I can. Hopefully, y'all can hear it. AJ Brown talking about the offense because there's one specific thing he says that I really want to talk about that's interesting.
it's not it's not just solely about my situation. I mean, guys, like obviously I want to win too, and I think if we're really focusing on winning and doing our job, like we can't just keep slapping the band-aid over the defense doing their job and getting us out of trouble. Like, at what point are we gonna pick up our slack as an offense that we're so great, And that's what I'm getting at. It's not about we're not winning or I don't care about winning. All I care about is stat. No, it's been week after week. Sometimes we're not contributing. We're not doing our job on offense. So you can't just keep slapping the band-aid over that and you expect to win late in the year. You think you're gonna go to it at the end of the year. It's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Last year what it was. Thank you for the ring, but it's a new season. They adapted. We have to adapt and we have to continue to like get better and try to find new ways. So that's where the frustration comes in because it's not about winning, you guys. Like I want to win, yes. I want to help contribute as well, do our thing on offense as well. I think that's fair.
Do you,
Not,
sorry.
Now, if you what the part I found interesting, if you could call it, hopefully you can hear that. I apologize if you can't. That's the loudest I could find. The part he said at the end about we won a Super Bowl, they adjusted a la the rest of the NFL. We have to adjust too. And that is what the NFL has always been. That's one of the cool things about the league. One of the things, at least for me, I think, what I think a lot of people enjoy is, you see a player or a style of offense or defense or whatever that comes in, has incredible success, dominates, It gets put on film. All the opponents study it, break it down, find its weaknesses, figure out, adjust, and then they have to adjust again. And that's how it keeps evolving. And you heard him, we have to adjust. I don't hear him ever saying it's, now I know he's not going to come out and say that, but it seems like the default is, oh, AJ Brown's talking about the quarterback. Again, the quarterback that got AJ Brown a couple of 1,400-yard seasons, when it could very well be, hey, we didn't adjust from an offensive play calling standpoint. We didn't adjust, from an offensive philosophy standpoint. Because every time I look and I hear certain things about Jalen Hurts that we talked about before, it turns out to be untrue and that Jalen's not the one that says these things, right? We keep hearing about how, oh, well, Jalen prefers to do this or Jalen doesn't like to do that. But the rare times that it's actually asked of Jalen, it comes out differently. And you look at the offenses he played in previously, the man has spent a lot of time under center. The man has played in very different offenses in Philly and in college, okay? The man has had success throwing the ball over the middle. I don't understand, other than we've got these people that do not like Jalen Hurts for whatever reason. I don't see it in his game that these are things that are true. And by the way, remember Devontae Smith said not that long ago about how it's the same offense. The offense hasn't changed. Jalen Hurts, from everything I've heard from him, it's not him who's keeping the offense from changing and evolving. The constant is Nick Sirianni. That is the big problem. But in terms of, I want to finish up in terms of the trade, right? We got it. The cap hit, and I forget the number off the top of my head, but it's something like 50 million after June, I think, if they were to cut AJ Brown, which they're not going to do. It's not nearly as much if they trade him, but it's still a huge, huge number. So, my guess is, I don't know. My guess is if Howie got something that blew him away, he would find a way to make that trade, but we'll probably see AJ one more year and then changes may have to happen because and I'm going to do a video on free agency and just break down all the players, who's likely to come back and things like that. Because what you're also going to get to is that very young defense eventually has to get paid too, right? We just wasted the most expensive, probably most talented offense in the NFL this season with allowing Nick Sirianni to hire Kevin Patullo. Absolutely destroyed it. So you've got Jalen Carter's got to get paid. Jordan, I mean, and who knows? Maybe some of these guys don't even want to stay no matter what. But let's just assume that if you can afford them, they want to stay. Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Kenyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. These are all guys you are going to have to pay in the next few years, right? That's not even including like Jalen Phillips being a free agent this year, N'Kobe Dean being a free agent this year. So do you want to? Because there's also, look, the offense for the scheme was bad, the blocking was bad. Like there were a lot of issues, but it's also we may have already seen peak AJ Brown as well. Doesn't mean he can't go have a few more good seasons, but if he plays again this year, do they want to pay him after that? I don't know. I don't know if it's worth paying him that kind of money. Devontae Smith's probably, well, he is extended, but that may be someone that they keep long term as a one. Howie may say, hey, if someone offers him a first, a first round pick for AJ Brown, Howie might be like, that is enough. And I'm going to leave you with one more thing in Howie Roseman actually being asked about trading AJ Brown.
Eagles GM Howie Roseman was asked about AJ, and this is what he had to say.
We talked about this, I think, at the trade deadline last time I talked. It is hard to find great players in the NFL, and AJ is a great player. I think from my perspective, that's what we're going out and looking for when we go out here in free agency in the draft, is trying to find great players who love football, and he's that guy. So I think that would be my answer.
Now, I'll finish up with this, and very diplomatic, but if you notice, the one thing Howie didn't say was no. No, we're not looking to trade AJ Brown. No, we won't trade AJ Brown. Now, they may not be looking to, but my thing is, Howie Roseman probably has no plans to trade AJ Brown, but he will listen to offers to trade AJ Brown. And if something makes sense, Howie Roseman will pull the trigger as always, as always. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you expect AJ Brown to be back? And if you want to put numbers on that, right, is it 50-50, 70-30, that sort of thing? And if not, what do you think they could get for him? Or what do you think as a fan that you would find acceptable to get for AJ Brown, considering there's also the big cap hit and all that. So anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do me a favor, smash that like button if you're enjoying the content. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're creeping on. We're not that far from 1,500 of you wonderful people subscribing and following the channel. Really do appreciate it. And man, go enjoy some playoff football. I'll talk to you later.